Hey everyone, what's that you say? Still too early? Still want me to stop complaining because this character isn't even out yet and you're sick of all the YouTubers talking about all the potential problems they see coming? Well, guess what? I'm not gonna stop. I'm never gonna stop. Can't stop, won't stop. And it's relax guys, it's just for fun. And I say this although I don't think a single person complained, so I think I'm just preemptively defending myself. But yeah, it's not, it's for fun. I like redesigning characters, so just let me have this. Plus it's Friday. Right, I'm recording this the same day it's gonna be coming out, so yeah. Anyways, sit down, grab a beer, and get ready for this one, because I not only do I think I solved like the horrible character design of Soul Weaver, but I do think I do have an algorithm now for designing Overwatch characters, like in general, and I'm gonna make that a video, maybe a video series, or I might put it all together, but I don't know how long that video might be. And I don't know how long this video might be, because this is a complete rework video. So, and there's so many problems with this character that I'm pretty sure it's going to take a long time. And another thing about, if you're upset about the complaints about this character before he's even out yet, I would say it's important to realize that whenever the community has said that a character has a problem, I don't think they've ever been wrong. Save for Genji, because that was an anomaly, because Overwatch 2 had just come out, so support characters were getting used to not having a peeling tank to kind of protect them from flankers. I would say that's the only time, but other than that, I don't think there's ever been a character complaint or some skill or something that was overpowered that everybody did not like and then were not proven right in the long run. So yeah, anyways, first let's get into the problems with this character. There are two main problems with this character. First off, he does way too many things, and that goes with a lot of the new characters in Overwatch, but this is the most egregious. This guy, he doesn't know what he's trying to do. Like, all the support characters all seem to be designed to do everything now, especially the support characters. Like, I want to sit down with Soul Weaver, like, if he was a real person, I'm like, what are you trying to do? What are you trying to do? Did he just grow up so rich, because that's his lore, and he just thought he can just do everything because everything has been available, and he's just like, I just want to do everything. I want to be DPS, I want to be a healer, and I want to be defensive and offensive. Like, what is it? And one person from the last video I made, his name is Claris the Chicken, said it perfectly, and I'll read his comment here. And what he said was, it's true though, it's true that of my complaints about him trying to do everything. And he continues to say, they made his kit really inconsistent. Okay, so he's a displacement hero who does minimal healing. No, his ult and passive completely focuses on healing, so he creates space and an advantage by putting your team on the offensive. No, he also takes your team out of the offensive and pulls them back. Okay, so he's a stationary hero, kind of commanding everything from the back like a chess player. No, he also has a dash that gives him healing and mobility. Like, who am I supposed to be? This is all still his comment. And I think he perfectly broke down his entire moveset and how I was trying to do everything. Well, I think he missed the large amount of DPS he's capable of doing. And if you guys have seen how much ult charge he gets from his attack, it's crazy. It's crazy. But like, what he gets from healing somebody 3 times for his ult charge, he gets like 5 times that amount for attacking somebody for like a second. It's stupid. But yeah, so essentially he's trying to be, because he also has the ability of switching between attacking and healing. He has so many abilities that switching between attacking and healing is incredibly clunky. And yes, I have not played him yet, but there isn't a single person who has played him, has put up videos that says he's not. There's not one person that did not say that he's not the clunkiest character in the game. As in, let me say that better. Everybody who's played him has said he's the clunkiest character in the game. His primary attack does so much damage, like an insane amount of damage. I'm partially at the idea that his entire purpose is essentially they wanted a support character that can take out Pharah more consistently, so he can kind of platform himself up to the sky and then just rain damage on her and just completely delete her. Anyways, he has an ability that forces his teammates out of whatever position they're in, for better or for worse. And to continue with that thought, his ult heals everyone within a certain radius when his kit has almost nothing to do with healing. For some reason, when he dies, he drops a healing item because that anyone can use. But I think that one's just kind of a cheeky, cute mechanic they put in the game, so I don't really care too much about that. But he also has a movement ability that is also pretty abysmal. Again, he has so many things that everything he does is like dumbed down. Like I'll kind of break it down later, but his movement ability, it doesn't move him that far and it barely heals him. I don't even know why it's there. And again, it sucks because he does so many other things that they're just like, okay, we're gonna give it to him, but let's make it weak. So now he just has a bunch of weak stuff with no real direction of what he's trying to do. And I'm sorry, but this is not how you design a character, like at all. Look up the characters from Overwatch 1. They all had one thing that they were entirely built around, like one trait, one perk, one character defining thing about them that their entire kit was built around. But he does everything. He does damage, healing, movement, and he has his own little special hack trait that I said earlier, which is essentially a defensive character displacement. Let me tell you how he should be designed, and how characters in Overwatch 1, well, how support characters in Overwatch 1 were designed, and how they should continue to be designed. Okay, number 1, they each had one hack trait ability they were centered around, like Mercy's Res or Zenyatta's Discord. Number 2, they had the ability to fight or run away. There was no character had both. You're either able to fight or you're able to run away as a support character. Number 3, at least one decent or consistent healing ability, which he does not have. But yeah, so 1, 2, and 3. So these 3 things have push and pull with each other, right? If you raise somebody's ability in one of these 3 categories, you have to kind of take it out of another ability, another category. He has all of them to a degree that makes them all suck. So first, let's focus on what the hell this guy's trying to do. What is his hacks trait? Well, what he's trying to do is defensively reposition his team. This is what his entire kit should be based around. And his main abilities to do this are on ridiculous cooldowns, because they themselves are ridiculous moves. Like, Pedal Platform is on a 12-second cooldown, and Life Grip is on a 20-second cooldown. Like there's no flow to everything he's trying to do. If his whole special trait is to defensively reposition his team, why make him barely be able to use it? What's the point? What if Doomfist could only punch once every 10 seconds? Like, it's stupid. And the reason why the cooldowns for this are so ridiculously large is because they stuffed him with so many other things. They did not want him to use his main kit that often, i.e. his healing and movement abilities. So first, let's look into his main traits. The defensive displacement moves he has, Life Grip and Pedal Platform. And these 2 go into the first category that I mentioned before about the hacks abilities. And when I say hacks, I don't mean like it's hacks as in like not fair. I just mean like support characters all have some type of ability that kind of controls how the game works, right? It's kind of like Blue in Magic the Gathering, where they kind of control the rules of the game. So like, Mercy can just bring you back to life. Zenyatta can make you take an extra 20% damage, like all those abilities. Anna can put you to sleep or stop you from healing, all that type of stuff. So first, let's go into Life Grip, because that's what everybody's talking about. At first, I had suggested that it should be like a Zenyatta's Orb, where Soulweaver would throw it on a character. It would linger on them for 5 seconds, and during that time, the character who has it on them would be able to press F to pull themselves back to Soulweaver wherever he might be. And in the last video I made, everybody seemed to think that was a good idea. There was like some consent, ideology that kind of went with it. But I then thought about what Blizzard was trying to do. They were trying to allow Soulweaver to have very clutch plays and save people, because one of the big things they've been trying to push, one of the big things that completely ruined the support class, in my opinion, is that they were trying to make it more fun. And I think they went, it's not a mistake to try to make it more fun, but I think they went on the wrong route for it. Because now they're just better DPS. They're DPS characters that can just kind of heal everybody and have hacks abilities. But Yeah, anyways, the reason they did the whole system that did not have consent with Soul Weaver's life grip is because they wanted you to have these big plays where you're saving somebody and people are like, oh, thank you for saving me. So although people did think this idea was a good idea, I am going to be changing it in this complete rework video, and you'll see why later and how it synergizes with all the other things, all the other abilities he has. Because one of the big things I do want to do, one, I want to keep the fluidity, but I also want to preserve the potential to make awesome plays by this character. So the first change I'll be doing of the new version for Life Grip is that now Life Grip is now a move that Soul Weaver can throw on a character that lasts for 1 second, and during that second, if the character with Life Grip on them would die, instead they get pulled back to Soul Weaver with 10% of their HP. The short amount of time it stays on the character would make the Soul Weaver player have to be precise with when he uses it, allowing for the clutch plays, and saving the person just like Blizzard wants. It keeps it fun, I get it. Okay, but it also doesn't remove the target's agency, because 100% of the time they would rather be pulled back instead of dying. So in a way, we preserve everything, the clutch high level play and target agency, because they don't get pulled back in the middle of whatever they're trying to do. And when I'm saying this out loud, I can't believe they did not think of this themselves. Like, it's gosh, hire me. No, don't hire me. I have a good job. But so when the target gets pulled back now, Soul Weaver has the ability to follow up with that pullback. So we'll get into that later, because I do have a flow section later on. So yeah, stay tuned for that. But anyways, the second change I'll make to this move is that the cooldown is now reduced to 8 seconds from the ridiculous 20 seconds. A displacement character shouldn't be only able to displace every 20 seconds. It's oh my gosh, it's dumb. Like, what if Reinhardt could only put his shield up once every 6 seconds? Well, that's actually pretty short, but yeah, it doesn't make sense. So this is core to his kit. He should be able to use it a decent amount of times. Plus the cooldown is less than Baptiste's immortality field, because although it does keep the character alive, it only keeps one character alive at a time and pulls them all the way back, so they're not still in the fight. So next, let's look at with the changes to Pedal Platform. Now for Pedal Platform, I think Pedal Platform is a great move. I think it's really cool, and I think it's chaotic. It's a chaotic move, as in, not that it's bad, but the potential with this move is just crazy, right? You would have Reinhardt's that you can shoot into the air, then they could jump in somebody's backline and shatter the entire team. Like, it's gonna be crazy. I don't even know what to expect with the new meta with this, if he's part of it. Well, if they change him so he's part of it, because right now he's so bad, I don't think he's gonna be part of any meta. But unless you're talking about the troll meta. So yeah, anyways, I think this move is great for his flavor. But yeah, there's no real flow to this move is the problem I have with it. And again, we're in the category of the hacks trait, right? The thing that kind of defines this character. So the first thing I'm going to do is, so while you're on this platform, you heal 20 HP per second for as long as it's out. So I think it's out for about 10 seconds. So it can heal a single person up to 200 HP over 10 seconds. I think this would be a perfect addition to this move. So essentially, the move now raises you out of danger and heals you. And if you guys don't think this move pulls you out of danger, that is one of the entire purposes of this move, and we'll get into that later on. But you put this thing on a person or somebody who's dying, jumps on this platform, they get raised out of line of sight. They're able to heal, and it's essentially kind of a shield, but it kind of pushes you into the air. And this is sticking to his character displacement trait and adds to his healing potential, which is completely trash at the moment. Plus, it's still less than Zenyatta's orb, but can at least heal groups and is on a cooldown. So I think that will make it completely balanced. And 200, because you want to kind of, generally an ability tends to heal a lot of like those low HP characters. So I think this is good for that. So the second thing I would change is now I will also reduce the cooldown for this ability to 8 seconds, just like his life grip. Again, characters need to be able to do what they're trying to do. I don't see why this move is on a 10-second cooldown. It's not that OP. And with these two changes, he has more healing and displacement, which is exactly what you want. You want him to focus in. He can heal, and he has his traits, and we're still in the trait category, so don't forget that. Plus, it'll be more readily available for him to escape with, but we'll get into that later. There is a caveat I have to this move, but I think I have to go through the entire kit before I kind of go into that, and that'll be in the conclusion or summary section, or flow section, or whatever. So let's get into the second category, the fight or flight. And I'll just say it now, and this goes into the whole attack or escape portion of how support characters should and used to be designed. Back then, a support character could either fight or get away from the fight to safety. In this version, he no longer has rejuvenating dash. I'm just going to say I'm just taking out rejuvenating dash because I don't know what purpose this is for. I don't know what the point of that move is. It's bad on both of the things it does. It doesn't move you that far. It only heals you 25 HP. He can do it every, 5 seconds? The game is so fast now, it's just, I don't know what they're thinking. But yeah, so I'm cutting the fat with this move. This move's bad healing and bad escape is now put into pedal platform. We're taking all that energy that put to making this horrible move and putting it into pedal platform. So now, if attacked, he can throw the pedal platform down, rise out of danger while healing himself. So yeah, so the lowered cooldown on this ability and the added ability to heal yourself while you're on the pedal platform is the buff he gets for losing this stupid ability. Plus, it goes with his entire story, right? He ran away because he didn't want people to use his signs for violence. So yeah, this move is gone, and the other moves are buffed because of that. Also, it frees up a button, because I think maybe even the most egregious thing about this character that I mentioned earlier, it's that the button mapping is so bad. And I'm normally not this negative, but the way this is designed is like when I was watching the Netflix adaptation of Death Note, and I was like, how did this ever get approved? Like, I don't have a degree in movie science or whatever it is, and I could have easily have seen this movie and be like, this is a horrible idea. But anyways, I digress. So now his life grip is on E, and his pedal platform is on the left shift button. So there's already kind of a better flow going on with that. Now, with his ability to get away from danger, his damage must be lowered, which brings us to the next move, Thorn Volley. And as of now, his damage is insane. It's crazy. It's not hit scan, but each thorn he shoots does 5 damage, and he throws 2 at the same time with a decent amount of spread. Because of the spread, he also consistently gets headshots every few thorns. So what I'm going to do now is reduce the spread, make it more accurate at longer ranges, and so I reward, high levels of skill, but keep the same firing rate, which is really fast already. So, you have more accuracy, you have the same firing rate, but the nerf is I also only allow him to shoot 1 thorn at the same time, dealing 6 damage. So now he shoots out 1 thorn at a time. Each of the thorns do 6 damage, but it's still at a very rapid rate. And it's not as much damage, but it shouldn't be as much damage because he's a support character whose ability when he's being jumped on is to run away, like Mercy. His entire shtick is that he's able to move people. He should be able to move himself out of a fight and heal himself. Plus, the damage isn't so low that he's useless for it. He'll still get a decent amount of kills. But again, he's a support character, guys. I'm gonna make another video on this. If you guys have seen my support characters are too strong now because they just do everything, this amount of damage he does is a problem. This needs to be reduced. And I said it in my last video, just like I'll say it now. We're at a point now where if we had 1 tank and 4 support characters, you're doing more healing, more damage than if you had 1 tank, 2 DPS, and 2 support characters. Like, they're all doing as much damage as DPS characters now. So there is no point for the DPS characters. So, yeah, anyways. So this at least helps him fend off people while he escapes and heals to safety. Plus, he can potentially pull somebody to him to help him fight, right? If I'm him and I'm being jumped on by a Genji, well, Genji's not going to do anything. I'm being jumped on by a Tracer, and then I put my pedal down and I start rising up, so I'm healing myself, and then I see that, I don't know, my Brig is about to die, so I put my life grip on her, and then she comes back on me, but now we're both on the pedal. right? So we're both healing. We come back down. We're gonna murder the tracer or anybody else. Let's say I get my soldier on my team. Like it's. I don't think these people are playing the game. But anyways, the second change I would have is now this is his alternate fire. So let's keep these characters fluid. Like having to like do the Mercy scroll to change to be offensive is already kind of sucks, and I've played Mercy a decent amount of times. I've played Mercy a lot, I would say. But having to switch to your gun as Mercy, it's more so because it's so outside of her style of play that it's almost like they're trying to tell you that this is not what she's supposed to be doing. So, you know, it's like a completely other moveset. This guy switches on and off between the two a lot, and this is what makes him incredibly clunky. Yeah, so now this is just his automatic alternate fire, and there's no more switching back and forth like that. So now we're at part 3 of the support design, which is consistent healing. So personally, I don't think any character should have healing any worse than Zenyatta, because Zenyatta's MO is that he's a glass cannon. Well, he's more than a glass cannon. He's like a glass nuke because he can't move and his healing is really bad, but he blows up tanks like nobody's business. So that was the compensation they made for that. So for Lifeweaver, honestly, I'm not even sure. The way it is now is just basic and nothing that the possibilities are endless. It's almost like there was no real direction on how they wanted him to heal. Luckily, there is a little bit of direction with how they wanted this to work. Like he can target through shields and kind of lob it over the enemy shield, but other than that, I don't know. It's like they really didn't want him to be healer. So right now, the maximum he can heal at a time is 65 HP when fully charged. And it takes him like 2 seconds. It takes him like 2 seconds to charge it. And then it takes like maybe another half a second to like throw it to somebody. Maybe not half a second. Yeah, maybe half a second, but let's say a quarter to half a second to throw it. So it's severely less than like all the other characters. Because I think everybody does at least 40, right? But if you do 65 divided by 2.5, I don't think it's less than 32.5. I think they wanted it to be this burst, this very slow burst healing that they have. So what I would do to buff this move and also to increase his horrible healing is that when he hits somebody, or maybe even when he doesn't hit somebody, well anyways, when the projectile lands, there is an AoE healing effect that happens, right? Whether it hits the ground and just kind of heals everybody in that area. The person it hits gets healed like the brunt of it, but everybody, let's say 1 or 2 meters around that character, gets maybe 30% of the initial heal. Then I think that would be a good buff. Or maybe he throws in a seed and then one of the lotus flowers blooms, and then in that area, everybody within that area gets the full healing. I don't know. But anyways, I think there should be an AoE healing. That way, I think it's just better for overall the whole team. And if you look at all the recommendations and changes I made so far, Lifeweaver now has a purpose. Like, he doubles down on his trait, and we buffed his healing output in a way that works with what his trait is supposed to be. And we also modified his trait to work with his fight or flight requirements. In this version, his traits have been buffed to utilize the flight of the fight or flight aspect of how support characters should be, which also makes sense, right? Like, his entire point is displacement. Let's double down on his ability to displace characters. Now, the weird thing is his ultimate, because not only is this move very underwhelming, especially when we just got a crazy cool ultimate like Ramatra's, but it doesn't fit anything he's trying to do is the thing. It's so random. Like, I would understand this ultimate if, let's say, if you threw a platform down and when it rose characters out of the into the air, that it would rise from a stem, and if you're around that stem, it creates, let's say, some cover for you to hide behind, and it also passively heals you. So this ultimate is kind of a more grandiose version of that. That would make sense, but this ultimate just comes out of nowhere. It's just a random tree of life. It's actually called Tree of Life. Yeah, as generic as that is. But yeah, it's just a generic tree of life. Hey, there's a tree that just heals everybody over here. So yeah, it just kind of, so again, just like just like the other ability, just like his ability to heal, like it's so basic. There's so many ways to change it that it almost doesn't mean anything to really change it. Because the way it is right now, I will say, like, maybe even a dumbed down improvement you can make to the move is allow your team to be able to shoot through the tree. And that might be the case. I haven't played it yet. I don't think that's the case, but it might be the case. That way it still kind of plays with the whole displacement aspect of it, because you can shoot through the tree, but your enemies can't shoot through the tree, so that they are forced to displace themselves to be able to get to you while you're perfectly fine wherever you are. So there's that, but I'm not even sure. I have to look into that. But yeah, and you know what? I'll throw in a wild card. There was a wild card, people. I should say that earlier. Yeah, there's going to be a wild card here. What if he creates a giant lotus that he and his buddies can get on, and he controls it as it flies through the map, and his teammates can shoot through this lotus plant and the enemy cannot. So it's essentially just a spacecraft that he can fly. He can fly anywhere, and you can shoot down like a freaking helicopter. I don't know. I'm just saying things now. I'll leave this in because it's fun. But yeah, I don't know. For his ultimate, in actuality, I'll just leave it the way it is, because the move doesn't make sense to begin with, like Symmetra's ultimate. but yeah. Anyways, let's get into the section where I explain how this is all supposed to work.
Hey everyone, if you're still watching, it means you're probably enjoying the video. So please like and subscribe, and maybe leave a message too, as it helps for the algorithm, which helps me keep making these videos. Also, don't forget to follow me on Instagram and Twitter to keep up with everything. And if you have a chance, check out my Patreon. It's one of the best ways to support the channel to allow me to keep doing what I do. So yeah, thanks everyone.
So essentially, you're in the backline spamming heals into your team and your Thorn Volley into the enemy team, and you see that your Doomfist has jumped into a fight and was instantly slept by Ana, and the enemy team is about to do to him what Lex Steel does to his co-workers. So you throw your life grip on him, and instead of dying, he gets thrown back to you, where you throw a pedal platform on the ground below you, so the two of you both rise up into the air, and he's getting healed now, and you are also adding to that healing with your primary fire healing ability. And while you're healing him, you're also not forgetting to throw down healers to your teammates that are below you, and you also have a better angle now. So your Doomfist is now healed and jumps back into the fight. But wait, Genji appears, mad that he hasn't gotten any kills yet because he keeps getting nerfed, so he jumps you. Luckily, your cooldowns are back because we reduced the cooldowns. He gets you to half your HP, but you throw down another pedal on the ground and rise yourself up in the air, healing yourself while you're shooting at him. He has no choice but to retreat. And little do you know, a Blizzard developer has seen this engagement and still thinks Genji is too strong, so he's about to get nerfed again. But wait, there's no time to reflect on your win, because your Widow is getting dived on. So you throw in a life grip on her, because again, the cooldown is so much less now that you can do these clutch plays. The Widow comes back to you and is now on the pedal platform you made for yourself. Now you both are getting heals together, and she sees the Genji running away, so she shoots him and he dies. And that's another nerf, because he should have died ages ago. So you see, in a way, you can kind of force peeling when it's kind of more readily available to you to do the life grip. So your pedal platform has just timed out, but you see that your soldier's ultimate is available, but he's about to die. Well, guess what? The cooldown's down again because it's only been 8 seconds. So you throw it onto him, he comes back to you, you throw down another pedal platform, and you guys rise into the air while he's healing, and he's in perfect position now to use his ultimate. And he does. Like now this character has flow. There's flow, and the version that exists now, from what I've seen, there is no flow to him. It's just a bunch of buttons, just like a Frankenstein collage of Overwatch skills. But in this version, he is consistently moving characters in ways that they want to be moved, and has decent healing, but still has an ultimate that doesn't make sense. But ultimates could be anything. And you know what? Fuck it, let's go to the spaceship locust idea. So now You use your ultimate and you throw down a giant spacecraft Lotus that all your friends climb on, and you start driving it like a helicopter down the field. Let's say it lasts for like 10 seconds, and your widow and your soldier are shooting through the pedals while the enemy can't shoot back at you. Again, kind of going with the whole displacement advantage theme he has. And let's say the Lotus has like, I don't know, it has like, maybe not, let's say it has 1,000 HP. So it can be blown up, especially with a Roadhog ultimate. And again, this one's just for fun. Don't take it too seriously. But actually, I don't even know if it's not serious. Because let's say he throws down a pedal that goes up to the same height as your normal pedal platform. And the enemy also has one, has a Soul Weaver. He can throw a pedal up into the air. Right, his entire team can get on it, and they can jump on your pedal platform, your ultimate pedal platform, and everybody's just fighting on this helicopter Lotus flower. Oh god. Anyways, now I did save this idea for last, but this is just a minor note that I had at the end of going over his abilities. And I think maybe he should have 2 pedal platforms on a rotating cooldown, like Reinhardt's Fire Strike or Zarya's Bubble, but with reduced capabilities, so maybe reduced height or reduced healing output. And that way he could have one reserved for him while he's also helping his teammates get out of danger. So yeah, so he can get himself out of danger and he can get his teammates out of danger. Even like the amount of time it's out for, reduce it to like 5 seconds or something. But yeah, that was just a random idea, just to kind of keep things more consistent and so that he's always kind of doing something. Anyways, in conclusion, there you have it. This is how I would redesign the character before he's even released. We doubled down on his kit, made him a decent healer, and made him more dynamic. And yeah, I know it's early, but again, I'm just having fun, guys. This is like a bonfire. Imagine this as a bonfire of Overwatch, and I'm like some crazy uncle that everybody just kind of, I don't know, likes to hear my crazy stories. But yeah, like I keep saying, this is fun for me, so let's have fun. Anyways, don't forget to like and subscribe, leave a message for the algorithm, and don't forget, I love you. And I also noticed, actually, final note, since I hit the 3,000 subscribers mark, I have the capability for people to, I think, ring the bell so that when an episode comes out, you get notified immediately. But I would imagine that if you're subscribed, you should already be getting notified. So I don't know why there's like a double layer for that. And I also have the ability now to make members only content, which I have not really looked into that much, but maybe I could release certain things earlier for if anybody wants to become a member. And yeah, I don't know. Those are just options that came out, and I'm gonna explore those to see like what they have to do with anything. But either way, I don't know. I just like people watching the videos, so I don't really care too much about that. But yeah, don't forget, I love you.